Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to take some beef neck bones and make them taste like oxtails. Now we all know oxtails are high, but beef neck bones are so affordable. I'm going to pair this with some shrimp mac and cheese, some candied yams, and some veg. Now, to get started, we're going to clean these beef neck bones. Now, do y'all see the price of this? This is $3.49 a pound. That is less than half of the price of oxtail right now, and we're going to get so much more. Now, there is no way in the world you could stop me from cleaning these beef neck bones. I know I've heard some of you guys in my comments say that you don't think you should clean meat or you don't think it's sanitary, but do you see the amount of blood that is on these beef neck bones? I'm going to show you guys how to properly clean them. First, they're going to need to be rinsed a few times, and you're going to need to get in there and get out some of that blood. Do you see all the blood and the grime and everything that is coming off these neck bones? Okay, you do not want to eat that, all right? Once you have rinsed it a few times, then you're going to fill it up with water, and I like to go in with a little bit of vinegar. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if vinegar is truly doing anything, but I feel comfortable using it, all right? I'm going to let it soak for about 3 to 5 minutes and agitate it to get out of some of the excess blood that's stuck really in those bones. Do this carefully because those bones actually can be fairly sharp, and then I'm going to drain it. Rinse it again. I'm going to put it in a colander to allow it to drain, and then I will go in and dry them very well. There are some differences between the beef neck bones and the oxtails. The main difference is that oxtails are a lot more fattier and the beef neck bones probably have a little bit more meat. But to be honest with you, I think for the price difference, the beef neck bones are winning for me, because if you make them the way I'm showing you, they're really going to taste similar. And if you just want a little bit of extra fat in the meal, I think you should just throw in a little butter. That's going to be way cheaper. So I'm going to go in now in a cast iron skillet and heat up some avocado oil, and then I'm going to put in my beef neck bones. I did not season them at all. I want to really get a great caramelization on them. So I leave off the seasonings because I don't want them to burn. And really, those bones have a lot of flavor. So if you get a nice char on those bones, you're going to add a lot of depth of flavor to the stew. So I'm going to char these in total for about 6 minutes. I'm going to flip them on every side till I get a good color, and I'll do both of the batches that I have. I'm then going to go in with a little bit more of olive oil and some butter. And I have one large onion. It was a humongous onion that I cut up, and I'm going to begin to steam this, or saute this, I should say, for about 3 minutes while I'm getting up some of that fine. I have some duck and goat curry. But y'all, these packages don't tell me what to do. Okay, I'm going to put it in some beef. All right, I'm going to do what I want. And I'm going to put in about 1.5 teaspoons, as well as 5 cloves of garlic and about 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. I simplified this recipe a little bit as compared to my oxtails, because I know all of you don't have all these seasonings that I have, but I guarantee you're going to get a good taste. I have 1.5 teaspoons of garlic pepper seasoning, about 1 teaspoon of salt, and previously I put in 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary. I'm now going in with about 1/2 cup of any dry red wine that you like, and I'm going to use that to completely deglaze the pan. I'll put in about 1 teaspoon of browning just to get that good color, and I'm going to work that into my stew base. I'm going to continue to flavor this up with some beef stew and oxtail seasoning, 1 tablespoon. You can get this seasoning at Walmart, but you can use any oxtail seasoning that you like, as well as 1 tablespoon of beef bouillon. Y'all know I can't do without it. I love it so much. And I'm going to put in some water. I'm going to work this around, and when I tasted it, I felt like it needed a little bit more flavor, so I put in 2 tablespoons of ketchup, y'all. I know it might seem weird, but I promise you it's good in the stew. And I have 1 tablespoon of better than bouillon beef paste. Lastly, throw in some allspice berries, and I'm going to move my beef neck bones into my Instant Pot. You can simmer this on a stove for about 3 to 4 hours, but who got that time? Okay, get yourself a pressure cooker, honey, and just make it go faster. It tastes the same. I'm then going to put in everything from my cast iron skillet, and I'll add a little bit more water to my pan just to rinse out all the seasonings. Y'all, no flavor was left behind. I'm not going to steer you wrong. Okay, this is going to work, all right? So then I'm going to push down my beef neck bones, and I'm going to make sure they're just covered, they're at the water level. I'll throw in a Scotch bonnet, 2 bay leaves. I'll put on my Instant Pot lid, and I'm going to cook this for 35 minutes, and then I'm going to let it natural pressure release for about 20 to 25 minutes. Then I'll just quick release the rest of the way. Once that is finished, you will see that the beef neck bones are very, very tender. I will gently take them out the Instant Pot and put them to the side, and I'm going to take the broth and just put it back into my pan. Now, you really could do this step in the Instant Pot on saute mode, but I wanted to put it back into my braiser. To give it that oxtail vibe, I'm using some butterbeans by Grace. I have rinsed them, and I'm going to put them in this mixture and allow them to simmer on medium heat uncovered for about 15 to 20 minutes until the gravy is at the level where I want it. They will be perfectly seasoned, but they will not be mushy by doing them this way. And then I'm going to add back in my beef neck bones and whatever juice has collected. Now, if you accidentally simmer down the gravy too long, just add in just a little bit more water at a time until you get the amount of gravy you want. I let these simmer together for about just 10 minutes just to let all the flavors meld. And honey, my husband did not know the difference. I gave this to him. He definitely thought it was oxtail stew, and he was just so happy and just eating it. So no one's gonna know. They're not gonna know, okay? I like pairing the stewed beef with something a little sweet like these candied yams. I'm going to peel and prep 3 pounds of yams. I cut off the ends because that's where most of those strings are, and you don't want those fibers in your candied yams. I'm going to cut them into about 1/2 to 1/4 of an inch pieces, and I'm going to do that for all of my yams. Now, when you get to the end of the yams, make sure you flip them over on the cutting board and slice down the side because you don't want to hurt yourself. Now, into my pan, I am putting 1 whole stick of salted butter. Yes, yams do need some salt, honey. And then I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of brown sugar, as well as 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. If you don't have the maple syrup, don't worry. Just add a little extra brown sugar, baby. Maple syrup kind of high, so don't just go out there and get it, if you ain't already got it. But it is good. I will say that, okay? I'm then going to allow this to bubble up and candy a little bit, and then I'll put in 1/4 of a teaspoon of ginger powder, as well as about a teaspoon of cinnamon. Shake it in till it get brown, baby, and put in about 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm going to also put in some vanilla. I'm putting a teaspoon of vanilla in, as well as 1/2 teaspoon of lemon extract. Lemon extract is going to bring out sort of a umami flavor in the yams. If you don't have lemon extract, then about a tablespoon of lemon juice would work very well in this, okay? Then I'm going to allow this to simmer for just about 30 seconds, constantly moving it, okay? I put in a pinch of salt. I tasted it. I realized it could use a little bit extra. And then I'm putting in all my yams. Now, one thing you better not do when you're making yams is put some water in it. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know who taught you to put water in yams, but you don't need to pre-boil yams, and you don't need to add any water to yams. Yams or sweet potatoes have a lot of water in them. Just put them on low and let them simmer for about 30 to 35 minutes. Now, at this stage, my yams were done, except the gravy around it, the syrup around it, I should say, was a little bit thinner than I liked. So I just uncovered them and I let them simmer for about 5 minutes uncovered on medium heat. And then my yams were perfection, okay? Now I'm going to start working on the vegetables. I have some kale, some cabbage, and this Romanesco. Okay, am I putting y'all on game? Am I introducing y'all to new vegetables here? This is like a combination between a cauliflower and a broccoli, plus it meets purple. All right, have y'all ever had this before? It was so good. Now I'm going to strip this kale. Did y'all know that people are paying for kale strippers? Okay, they are paying for little objects to run their kale through. You got hands, baby. Do it for free. Okay. Now I'm going to chop up the Romanesco first. I just felt like this was such a good vegetable. If you can't get your hands on this, then I would just use cauliflower as a substitute instead. But apparently the purple has lots of nutrients. So hey, if you ever go to Sprouts or Whole Foods and you see it, I give it a go. I'm then going to chop my cabbage up into about a 1/2 inch slices, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in a wok. I'm going to put my Romanesco at the bottom, followed by my kale, then my cabbage, and a little bit of Vegeta for seasoning. To replace Vegeta, you could put just a pinch of chicken bouillon and some salt and pepper. I'm going to allow this to steam in total for about 7 minutes. If you've been enjoying this video so far, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. Okay, I am going to be posting new meals and recipes weekly, so please let me know what other meals you guys would like to see. Now, as you can see, these veggies have come down quite a bit. Having them in the wok makes it so that they can steam down rather quickly and easily. I'm going to cover them up just for about 2 more minutes. So in total, I cooked them for about 7 minutes. Now this shrimp mac and cheese, baby, this one will make you want to dance. Okay, do your dance, do your dance. I'm going to tell you right now, you ain't had shrimp mac and cheese like this before. Onto a pound of shrimp, I'm going to be adding this seafood magic seasoning as well as some Old Bay, just about a teaspoon of each. But you know, when you cooking, you can just throw as much as you like on there, okay? I'm then going to start prepping my noodles by adding some chicken bouillon powder as well as some salt to some water. You need this as salty as the Dead Sea, okay? And then you're going to put in 1 pound of the noodles of your choice. Cook them according to the package instructions. Drain them, add in some butter and some flour. Toast out, that flour to get out that raw taste. I toast my flour for about 20 seconds because I'm also going to be sauteing some onion in this mixture. Onion may be a little bit unconventional for mac and cheese, but this is shrimp mac and cheese. It's different, so we're doing it differently. I'm going to saute this for about 1 minute, stirring it constantly, and then I'll add in a whole can of evaporated milk. Stir it so that you don't get lumps. Okay, you don't want that flour to clump up with the milk, and then put in about 2 cups of heavy cream. Okay, that's going to give it a rich flavor. And then I'm putting in 1/2 of this Bousin Garlic and Herb cheese, but you could also substitute adding in 3 cloves of garlic and about 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. That would be a great sub. I'm going to mix in my cheeses. I'm just using 2 types of cheeses today, sharp cheddar and mozzarella. The sharp cheddar is going to give it that classic macaroni and cheese flavor, but the mozzarella is definitely king of giving you the texture that you want. To get the color that I'm looking for, I'll put in this Sazon packet because the mozzarella and the white cheddar don't really have that cheesy color, if you know what I'm saying. I will then just season to taste with white pepper, a little bit of Vegeta, but if you don't have Vegeta, you can use chicken bouillon. I'm going to continue to stir it until all my cheeses are melted and I'm getting that ultimate cheese pull. Okay, what did you come here for? Okay, I know this is what you came for when you wanted a mac recipe. All right. Now, this is optional, but I decided to go in with a little bit of whole milk just to thin out the cheese a little bit. That's the way I like mine, but I know some of y'all like that really thick and dense mac and cheese. So if you don't like that, then don't add in the extra whole milk. I'm then going to put my noodles into my sauce and I'm going to combine them and mix them thoroughly. I prefer to do it this way as opposed to pouring the sauce over my noodles in the baking dish. To bake this, I am going to use Sister Mabel. Y'all know Sister Mabel don't be doing me no wrong. Okay, I got her all buttered up and she ready to go. I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees already. And I'm going to put in 1/2 of the macaroni mixture. And then I'm going to layer it with about 3/4 of the shrimp. Spread out the shrimp everywhere. All right. We don't want people picking out them shrimps, getting everybody mad because some people get shrimp and other folks don't get no shrimp. Okay. There's always a greedy one in the family who will do that. Okay. So just give them a lot to start out with. Then I'm going to put on the rest of my noodles, and I have reserved just some of the cheese at the side to put on the top. And of course, I'm going to put some paprika on it to make it fancy. I'm going to bake this for 20 to 23 minutes at 400 degrees. Do not overbake this because you do not want those shrimp to get rubbery. And I just cooked the rest of the shrimp as a garnish on the side in a little bit of butter. Just cook them for about 2 minutes and then throw them on top. You want to make sure everyone knows what they're getting just in case they have a shrimp allergy. Now, y'all, I know you see this mac and cheese. I know you see this whole plate, and I know you want it. So you better go ahead and make this recipe. I hope you know that I love you and Jesus loves you. He's the savior of the world, and I care for you as well. I will see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye and God bless.